Afghan Deputy Minister of Borders and Tribal Affairs. His name is Fraidon Barakzai, who joins us now from Istanbul. Mr. Barakzai, thank you so much indeed for your time. How significant is the statement from a few hours ago with the Taliban saying there will no longer be any transitional government? 24 hours ago on Sunday, we were hearing there might be some sort of power sharing or transitional deal, but that, according to the Taliban, is off the table.
Well, thank you very much. Of course, the Taliban will not accept transitional government right now because they already took control of Afghanistan. And you know that a transitional government is part of negotiated settlement when there is a stalemate in the battlefield. But right now, the situation changed in Afghanistan. And of course, there is no place for transition government. The only issue that is now is in Afghanistan that Taliban should pay attention to is national and international legitimacy, that they must work on that, because Afghans, as we know, are good fighters, but good governance in Afghanistan needs more skills and political wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only idea about a transitional government may have been to reassure the people that, look, we, the Taliban, are not like we were 20 years ago, and that we are prepared to make some compromises to our ideologies. That could have been some kind of message that the transitional administration would be sending. Do you believe that there's less reason to, for the Taliban to compromise now that they have full control militarily of Afghanistan?
Yes, I think the Taliban will not accept transitional government right now in Afghanistan, but we can offer Taliban the alternative, which is good for Taliban, and the countries in the region also will benefit from it, which is an inclusive government with the respect of basic and fundamental rights of the people of Afghanistan, which are rights for education, women's rights, minorities' rights. So I think the leadership of Taliban, because Taliban are divided in three groups: the leadership, the commanders, and the foot fighters. So they learned the lesson from the past, and I hope that they understand that Afghanistan is still dependent to international assistance, financial, economic assistance. Afghanistan is not in good condition economically, so they need national and international support and legitimacy. And through an inclusive government, of course, they can attend international financial support to Afghanistan.
Have you seen any indication that they may be less strict than they were 20 years ago, that they might allow girls to go to school, that they might allow people to live a certain lifestyle and do simple things like listen to music? Because if they don't do those things, how can they gain international legitimacy? For example, how can the government in London, in Berlin or Rome, how can they recognize the Taliban government that treats its people the way they were treated 20 years ago?
Yeah, as I told you previously, now the situation is more or less stable in Kabul, and the Taliban fighters are patrolling the city. But how they will behave in the future, the time will show, because now the fighters are in full control of the situation. And of course, it's difficult for the political leadership of Taliban to say something about the future governance in Afghanistan. I hope that the international community, United Nations, Security Council, the neighboring countries of Afghanistan, especially Turkey as a brotherly nation of Afghanistan with an ancient good relation with Afghanistan, that we will celebrate 100 years of brotherhood of Turkey in Afghanistan, can play crucial and important role for the facilitating of inclusive government of Afghanistan, which will be acceptable for the people of Afghanistan as well as for the region and for the whole world.
Just briefly, Mr. Barakzai, if you don't mind, we're running out of time. Do you expect there to be a significant brain drain of the best of Afghans leaving the country now?
Now there are less opportunity for the Afghans to leave the country, and there is no threat of mass refugees from Afghanistan, because all the borders are closed, and the only way to get out of Afghanistan was Kabul airport, which is also now under the control of the US soldiers, that there are information that they will also leave within 48 hours. So there is no way out from Afghanistan right now, and I don't expect any more refugees from Afghanistan. But the only issue is that how the political scenario will develop in recent future.
Fraidon Barakzai, thank you so much indeed for joining us.